and welcome to a new episode of Guitar Journals. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about a very different subject. I'm not going to talk a lot about myself, but I will say it's been a while. Was supposed to post a review of the Soul Food, but I've been down in a very deep depression lately, so I haven't gotten to do it yet. I read an article by John Bollinger in Premier Guitar magazine before Easter about mental illness and depression amongst artists and musicians, and I want to talk a little about this subject because it also concerns me and a lot of people who may view this video. Now, I don't have a lot of subscribers yet because I'm not good at marketing this thing, but first and foremost, I'm doing this for fun. I hope this video will reach out both in the community and elsewhere. John Bollinger talked about a friend of his called Neil Casale, who was a singer-songwriter and guitar player. I discovered him by accident via a review in a paper in May of 2000. He had a new record coming out called Anytime Tomorrow. I was a big fan of Eagles and the East Coast sound and country rock at that time, and that record was really great. I loved it. I've listened to it probably 1,000 times. And also his record Rain, Wind and Speed is also a favorite of mine. What I didn't know about Neil was that he committed suicide last August. John Bollinger is dealing in the article with the fact that as many as 50% of all artists and musicians have some kind of mental problems, be it depression, be it bipolar, anxiety, etc., etc. And that also we as artists and musicians are more prone to suicide than other groups of the society. And I was shocked to read that as many as 800,000 people commit suicide every year. And that's a lot. So I just want to reach out because I want to talk a little bit about it, what people can do if you know someone who is struggling with depression. And especially be aware that if you have a friend who is a musician or artist, that they may be prone to both mental problems and suicidal thoughts. Now, suicidal thoughts is not the same as committing suicide. There are two very different things. When you start to plan suicide, let me put it another way. If people want to commit suicide, they usually don't talk about it. They keep it to themselves, so it can be very difficult for people around them. And also a lot of musicians and artists may have problems with drugs, alcohol, prescription pills, etc., etc. We've seen it all the time, and we've seen people go over the years. Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Kurt Cobain, Dolores O'Riordan, Chester Bennington, Scott Weiland. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And especially in these trying days we are in and have ahead of us with isolation, a lot of people with depression use humor to cover their weaknesses. With a lot of artists, especially writers, singer-songwriters, poem writers, authors, etc., you can see the signs of depression in their lyrics. Does that mean that you should be aware? I can't answer that, but I think that is our channel to vent, to write, to play out the bad feelings. Many of us have problems talking about it. We tend to joke them away. We use humor. So how should you approach someone struggling with depression or mental illness? Well, my number one rule is don't treat them like a child. Don't talk to them like they're a child. Don't tell them if you just do this or that, I'm sure you will be better tomorrow. That doesn't work. To meet them where they are, you have to let them talk, even though it may be hard for you to listen to. You gotta let them talk. Just the other day, I went to the hospital to get an hour conversation with two psychiatric nurses because I was feeling very down. I didn't know these people, and even professionals, some are good. I have a very good psychiatrist, but these people, they talk to me like I was a 6-year-old. So I wasted my whole hour talking to somebody who treated me like a 6-year-old. I don't say this to complain. I mean, I'm glad I had a chance to meet them during the holidays to talk. I really am. But even professionals aren't always professional. Number 2, if you meet someone you think may struggle and you ask them how they are, be prepared to hear the answer. Now, this is another thing. I can meet people at the grocery store who I live in a very small community, who I know, but I'm not close with them. And I don't know how it is in other countries, but here in Norway, when you meet people like that and they ask you how you are, they expect to hear the answer, I'm fine. And then you go away. Now, I've tried to see how people react. If I meet them at the store and they ask me, how are you? I can say, well, I've been struggling a lot with depression these days. I can't sleep. I have very negative thoughts about myself. I hate myself. And then you just see the look on people's faces. And then they're suddenly in a hurry. So don't be afraid to ask someone how they are, but be prepared that the answer may not be easy to swallow. And number 3, especially in these times, don't be afraid to reach out to someone you know is struggling. There are many people, not necessarily now in the corona times, but more now than ever. They may have a lot of people around them, a lot of acquaintances, but they feel very, very lonely. And I can address to that myself. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to make a phone call, to send a message to someone you know who might need it. Thank you so much. I hope you will like and share this video. Share this video with your friends. I'm begging you. It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to other people struggling. And I promise I will come with the review of the soul food as soon as possible. I love that pedal, by the way. And I have another unboxing video coming up. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking your time to listening to me today. And we'll see you next time.